I Am Rich Habits, written and published by Audiobooks. Your habits can make you or break you. The gap between the wealthy and the rest isn't just about money in the bank. It's about what happens in the 24 hours we all share each day. While we all have the same amount of time, the wealthy navigate these hours with distinct patterns that consistently build their financial foundation. The first, and perhaps most fundamental difference, is how the wealthy perceive the world around them. Wealthy people consistently operate from an abundance mindset rather than scarcity thinking. When you observe them closely, you'll notice they see opportunities where others see obstacles. They believe there is always more money to be made, more deals to be done, and more value to be created. This perspective isn't just positive thinking. It drives concrete actions. While the average person worries about saving every dollar, the wealthy focus on how to generate 10 more. This mindset shift alone changes everything downstream in their daily habits. Lesson 1. What rich people do differently every day. Time is treated as their most precious resource by the wealthy. They protect their calendars fiercely and allocate time with intention. You'll rarely find truly wealthy people randomly scrolling through social media or binge, watching shows without purpose. Instead, they segment their days into focused blocks, dedicating uninterrupted time to high-value activities that move their financial needle. They understand something crucial. Where your time goes, your results follow. This doesn't mean they work constantly. Rather, they work deliberately, distinguishing between activity and productivity. Decision-making frameworks separate the wealthy from the struggling. The rich apply consistent criteria to choices, especially financial ones. They evaluate opportunities through lenses like return on investment, scalability, and alignment with long-term goals. They make decisions promptly without perfectionism, understanding that speed often trumps precision in building wealth. When everyone else is still deliberating, they've already taken action, learned from the results, and adjusted accordingly. Perhaps most revelatory is the information diet of wealthy people. They are extraordinarily selective about what enters their minds. Their reading lists contain biographies of successful people, industry analyses, and skill-building material, rather than random entertainment. Their conversations center on ideas, opportunities, and solutions rather than problems, gossip, or complaints. They seek mentorship and pay for specialized knowledge others won't invest in. This curated information intake shapes their thinking patterns and, subsequently, their actions. Communication habits of the wealthy open doors closed to others. They speak with purpose and listen with intensity. They ask better questions that unlock valuable insights and relationships. When they communicate, they focus on clarity and impact rather than impressing others. They understand that how you communicate shapes how others perceive your value, and they leverage this daily through thoughtful interactions that build their reputation and influence. Network cultivation might be the most visible daily habit differentiating the wealthy. They intentionally build and nurture relationships with purpose. They don't just collect business cards. They create meaningful connections and consistently provide value before asking for anything. They spend time with people who challenge their thinking and expand their opportunities. This means sometimes declining social invitations that don't serve their growth to prioritize environments where valuable connections happen. The wealthy also practice daily financial awareness that most people avoid. They know their numbers, not just annually during tax season, but daily. They check key financial indicators, review progress toward goals, and make micro-adjustments before small issues become major problems. This regular engagement with their finances removes the emotion and avoidance that plague most people's relationship with money. What's particularly powerful about these daily differences is their compound effect. None requires extraordinary talent or privileged access, just consistent application. The wealthy don't do dramatically different things. They do ordinary things with extraordinary consistency and intentionality. They understand that excellence isn't an event but a habit. and wealth is the natural outcome of excellent daily practices maintained over time. The question then becomes not what do I need to do to get rich, but how do I need to live each day to become the kind of person who naturally creates wealth? The transformation begins with these daily patterns that anyone can adopt, starting today. Lesson 2. Morning routines that attract money. The first hour after you wake up sets the trajectory for your entire day, especially when it comes to financial success. This critical window establishes your mental state, focus, and energy patterns that will either attract or repel prosperity. While most people stumble through their mornings, wealthy people intentionally design these hours to prime themselves for abundance. The wealthy understand that consciousness is heightened immediately after sleep. In this receptive state, they practice deliberate visualization, seeing themselves already achieving their financial goals. This isn't mere fantasy. It's programming the subconscious mind to recognize and seize opportunities aligned with wealth creation. Try this. Spend 5 quiet minutes each morning vividly imagining yourself completing key money-generating activities, feeling the emotions of financial freedom, and moving confidently through your day as your wealthy self. Wealthy people protect their mornings from distraction. Rather than immediately checking social media or news that triggers reactive thinking, they engage in centering practices like meditation, breathing exercises, or journaling. This creates mental clarity that enhances decision-making throughout the day. Even 3 minutes of focused breathing can dramatically reduce stress hormones that cloud financial judgment. Priority setting distinguishes the financially successful from those who struggle. Each morning, effective wealth builders identify the 3 actions that will most significantly impact their financial growth. Then commit to completing these before anything else. They ask, what one activity today would move my financial needle most dramatically? This question cuts through the noise of busy work and focuses energy on true wealth, generating activities. Physical vitality directly correlates with earning potential. Morning movement, whether a full workout, brief stretching routine, or brisk walk, increases oxygen flow to the brain, enhances cognitive function, and elevates mood. These physiological changes improve your performance in meetings, negotiations, and creative problem solving. The wealthy recognize their body as a wealth creation instrument that requires daily maintenance. Many financially successful people incorporate a brief money check during their morning routine. This might involve reviewing account balances, checking investment performance, or updating financial goals. This practice isn't obsessive monitoring, but rather mindful awareness, a way to maintain conscious connection with your financial landscape. Regular attention directs focus, and focus drives improvement. The information you consume upon waking profoundly influences your financial perspective. Wealthy people curate their morning information diet, feeding their minds with content that expands financial understanding and opportunity awareness. This might include industry news, economic trends, biographies of successful entrepreneurs, or educational content about wealth creation. Even 10 minutes of strategic reading can introduce transformative concepts. Perhaps, most importantly, the wealthy begin their day with an abundance mindset rather than scarcity thinking. They practice gratitude for existing resources while affirming their capacity to generate more. Simple morning affirmations like money flows to me easily, or I recognize and seize profitable opportunities may seem trivial, but they rewire neural pathways when practiced consistently. Water consumption after waking serves both physiological and symbolic purposes in a wealth-attracting morning routine. Proper hydration optimizes brain function, while symbolizing the flow you wish to create in your financial life. Many wealthy people combine this with lemon for detoxification, clearing their bodies as they simultaneously clear their minds for opportunity recognition. The true power of morning routines lies in their consistency rather than their complexity. Start with just one wealth-attracting practice performed daily, then gradually build. The financial elite understand that morning discipline creates the conditions for daily prosperity. By taking control of your first waking hour, you reclaim agency over your financial destiny. Your morning doesn't just start your day, it shapes your financial future. Lesson 3. Simple habits that poor people never do. The true separation between those who build wealth and those who remain financially stagnant isn't found in grand gestures or lottery wins. It's hidden in plain sight, embedded in daily actions so simple they're often overlooked. These habits don't require exceptional intelligence or privileged backgrounds. They demand something more accessible, yet paradoxically more rare: consistent execution. Perhaps the most powerful habit that financially struggling people rarely embrace is consistent investing regardless of amount. The wealthy understand that the amount isn't as important as the consistency. Even $50 invested monthly with discipline transforms more dramatically over time than occasional larger sums invested sporadically. This habit builds on the principle that participation in asset growth matters more than perfection. Wealthy people invest through good times and bad, understanding that market timing is less powerful than time in the market. Connected to consistent investing is the practice of delayed gratification. The financially successful routinely postpone immediate pleasures for future gains. This isn't about living a joyless existence, but rather about making conscious trade. While others impulsively purchase the latest devices or fashions, wealth builders ask, "What is this purchase costing me in future terms?" They visualize the compounded value of that money in 10 years before deciding. This temporal perspective, extending decision consequences into the future, becomes an automatic mental filter. Another distinction is how the wealthy approach income. While many hope for raises or better jobs, the financially successful proactively diversify their income streams. They allocate time each week to developing additional revenue sources, whether through side businesses, investments, or developing marketable skills. They understand that relying on a single income source is as risky as placing all investments in one stock. Even dedicating 30 minutes daily to building alternative income streams creates exponential differences over years. Perhaps most significantly, wealthy people commit to continuous learning and skill development with religious consistency. They view education not as something that ended with formal schooling, but as a lifelong practice essential to financial growth. This habit manifests in daily reading, consuming educational content during commutes, attending workshops, or taking online courses. While others fill leisure time exclusively with entertainment, the wealthy allocate significant time to learning practical skills that increase their market value. The financially successful also maintain a fundamentally different relationship with money through regular money conversations and reviews. They don't avoid financial discussions out of discomfort or shame. Instead, they schedule regular reviews of their financial position, openly discuss money matters with partners, and seek expertise when needed. They treat their personal finances with the same serious attention a business owner gives their company's financial statements. This regular engagement with financial reality prevents problems from compounding and opportunities from slipping by unnoticed. Finally, there's the habit of calculated risk-taking. While financially struggling people often remain paralyzed by fear or take impulsive, unresearched risks, the wealthy develop systematic approaches to evaluating opportunities. They collect information, consider potential outcomes, and take measured action with appropriate safeguards. This isn't about recklessness, but rather about developing comfort with uncertainty while managing potential downsides. They understand that wealth rarely grows in perfectly safe environments. Some risk is necessary, but it's calculated, not careless. These habits represent a different relationship with money, time, and personal development. They aren't flashy or immediately gratifying. They often feel insignificant in the moment. which precisely explains why they're so rarely adopted despite their accessibility. The compound effect of these simple practices only becomes visible over time, but once established, they create an almost inevitable path to financial improvement. The beauty lies in their simplicity and availability. Anyone can begin implementing them today, regardless of their current financial situation. The question isn't whether these habits work, but whether you'll practice them with the consistency that financially successful people maintain as second nature. Lesson 4. 5-minute wealth actions that add up. Wealth creation isn't always about grand gestures or massive financial decisions. More often, it's the small, consistent actions taken daily that compound into significant results over time. These 5-minute wealth actions are perfect for busy people who believe they lack the time to improve their financial situation. Consider the power of micro-investing. Taking just 5 minutes each day to transfer small amounts into investment accounts can dramatically change your financial trajectory. Many successful wealth builders begin by automating transfers of just $5 or $10 daily into investment accounts. This approach makes investing painless and removes the psychological barrier of parting with larger sums. Apps like Acorns, Stash, or Robinhood have made this process nearly effortless, allowing you to invest spare change or set up recurring daily investments in the time it takes to brush your teeth. The daily financial review is another powerful 5-minute habit. Wealthy people rarely go a day without knowing exactly where they stand financially. Each morning or evening, take 5 minutes to check your account balances, review recent transactions, and make quick adjustments to stay on track. This brief habit prevents financial surprises and keeps money constantly in your awareness. Unlike those struggling financially who avoid looking at their accounts, the wealthy maintain constant awareness as a form of financial mindfulness. Business development doesn't require hours of your day. Successful entrepreneurs and professionals dedicate 5 minutes daily to what I call connection touches. This involves sending a quick email to a potential client, making a brief call to check in with a valuable contact, or sharing an insightful article with someone in your network. One wealth builder I know attributes his 7-figure business to the 3 people a day rule, reaching out to 3 contacts every single day with no immediate agenda other than strengthening the relationship. These 5-minute touches compound into a powerful network that generates opportunities seemingly out of nowhere. Knowledge acquisition in small bites is how the wealthy stay ahead. Warren Buffett famously spends 80 of his day reading, but you can start with just 5 minutes. Subscribe to financial newsletters, listen to 5 minutes of a financial podcast during your commute, or read one article about investing or business daily. The wealthy understand that continuous learning doesn't require returning to school. It happens in these small, consistent doses that accumulate into significant wisdom over time. The 5-minute gratitude practice might seem unrelated to wealth building, but research consistently shows that gratitude directly correlates with financial success. Take 5 minutes each day to write down 3 specific things you're grateful for about your current financial situation. This simple habit rewires your brain to recognize abundance rather than scarcity, which fundamentally shifts how you approach money decisions and opportunities. Where focus goes, energy flows, and this brief practice directs your attention toward what's working in your financial life. Many wealthy people practice what I call 5-minute visualization. Before starting their day, they spend just a few minutes mentally rehearsing their financial goals as if they've already been achieved. This neural programming helps you recognize opportunities aligned with your goals when they appear throughout your day. The beauty of these 5-minute wealth actions lies in their accessibility. Everyone has 5 minutes, which eliminates the most common excuse for financial inaction: lack of time. Start by selecting just one of these practices and commit to it daily for 30 days. Once it becomes automatic, add another. Within a year, these small actions will have compounded into dramatic changes in both your financial situation and your relationship with money. Wealth isn't built in grand gestures, but in these seemingly insignificant moments that, when stacked together, create remarkable outcomes. Lesson 5. Breaking the broke person's patterns. The invisible chains of financial struggle rarely make themselves obvious. They manifest as seemingly innocent daily decisions, small choices we don't even register as significant. It's just $5 for coffee, we tell ourselves, unaware that we're repeating patterns programmed into us since childhood. Breaking free requires first identifying these patterns with unflinching honesty. Most people struggling financially operate from a reactive position. Money comes in and immediate demands consume it. Bills arrive and panic ensues. This reactive cycle keeps millions trapped in perpetual financial instability. The wealthy, by contrast, maintain a proactive stance toward money, anticipating expenses months ahead and positioning their resources strategically. One of the most damaging patterns involves what I call financial victim language. Listen carefully to how financially struggling people discuss money. I can't afford that. The economy is terrible. Prices keep going up. The system is rigged. These statements contain truth, but they reinforce a narrative where external forces control your financial destiny. The wealthy use different language. How can I afford that? Where are the opportunities in this economy? How can I increase my value to offset rising prices? How can I work with the system to my advantage? Your environment silently shapes your financial behavior. Walk through your home and observe what your space says about money. Are bills scattered around creating anxiety? Do you have visual reminders of your financial goals? Is your workspace optimized for productivity or distraction? The wealthy deliberately design environments that support wealth accumulation. From organizing financial documents to creating dedicated spaces for focused work and learning. Consider your social circle as part of this environment. Research consistently shows we adopt the financial behaviors of our 5 closest associates. If those around you regularly complain about money, make impulsive purchases, or ridicule wealth-building activities, you're swimming against a powerful current. This doesn't mean abandoning friends, but it does require consciously expanding your network to include those with healthy money habits. Another pattern to break involves information consumption. The financially struggling often absorb passive entertainment or doom, scrolling news that reinforces economic anxiety. The wealthy curate information diets rich in problem-solving content, opportunity recognition, and skill development. This single habit, transforming what enters your mind daily, can dramatically accelerate your financial transformation. One of the most insidious patterns keeping people broke is the someday syndrome. Financial improvement gets perpetually postponed. I'll start saving when I get a raise. I'll invest when I have more knowledge. I'll invest when I have more knowledge. I'll build that business when the timing is better. The wealthy understand that perfect conditions never arrive. They start with imperfect action today, knowing that course corrections come through experience, not preparation. Breaking patterns requires replacing them with new behaviors, not just eliminating old ones. For every financial pattern you identify, develop a specific replacement ritual. Instead of mindlessly checking social media when bored, which often leads to impulse purchases, install a financial app that automatically rounds up purchases into investments. Rather than saying, "I can't afford that," practice saying, "That's not a priority for my financial goals right now." Perhaps, most importantly, recognize that financial pattern breaking isn't a one-time event, but an ongoing practice. The wealthy build self-awareness muscles through regular reflection. Many keep money journals where they document financial decisions and the emotional states driving them. This creates a feedback loop for continuous pattern recognition and interruption. Transforming your financial reality starts with this fundamental truth. The patterns keeping you broke are largely invisible to you. By bringing them into awareness, interrupting them consciously, and establishing new wealth-supporting rituals, you change not just individual behaviors, but your entire financial trajectory. These new patterns, repeated daily, form the bridge between financial struggle and abundance. Lesson 6. Money habits you can start today. The beauty of transformational wealth habits is that many require no initial financial investment, just your commitment. Today, right now, you can implement changes that will alter your financial trajectory forever. These aren't theoretical concepts for someday. These are practical actions you can take before you finish reading this chapter. Start by implementing the power pause, a brief moment before any purchase where you ask yourself, is this moving me toward or away from my financial goals? This isn't about deprivation. It's about intentionality. Wealthy people rarely make impulsive purchases. They've trained themselves to create a small space between desire and action. This habit alone can save you thousands annually while reinforcing your identity as someone who makes deliberate financial choices. Next, adopt the practice of paying yourself first, automatically. Today, set up an automatic transfer of even just ones of your income to a separate savings or investment account. The amount matters less than establishing the system. As you grow accustomed to living without this small percentage, gradually increase it. Wealthy people typically save or invest 20 or more of their income, but they didn't start there. They built the habit incrementally. Implement the daily expense tracking habit. For just 1 week, record every single expenditure, no matter how small. Don't judge your spending yet. Simply observe it. This awareness alone often reduces unnecessary spending by 10-15, as you naturally become more conscious of where your money goes. Use a simple note on your phone or one of many free expense tracking apps available. This habit provides the data you need to make informed decisions about optimizing your spending. Cultivate the habit of value. Focus networking. Each day, reach out to one person in your network without asking for anything. Congratulate them on an achievement. Share a resource they might find valuable, or simply express appreciation. These small investments in relationships compound dramatically over time. Wealthy people understand that their network directly influences their net worth, and they nurture these connections consistently. Begin researching income diversification in small daily doses. Commit just 15 minutes each day to learning about side hustles, investment opportunities, or additional revenue streams aligned with your skills and interests. Your primary income source is like having all your financial eggs in one basket. The wealthy create multiple income streams as protection and acceleration for their wealth building. This daily research habit will eventually reveal the right additional income sources for you. Adopt the skill development commitment. Identify one marketable skill that would increase your value in the marketplace, then spend 20 minutes daily improving it. This might involve watching instructional videos, practicing the skill, or reading relevant material. Your earning potential is directly tied to the value you can provide, and deliberate skill improvement is a non-negotiable habit of the wealthy. Implement the opportunity radar habit by training yourself to spot potential value where others see problems. Each day, note one challenge you encounter and brainstorm possible solutions. Many fortunes have been built by people who simply paid attention to friction points in everyday life and developed solutions. This habit primes your mind to think like an entrepreneur and opportunity creator. Start each morning with a financial affirmation that reinforces your new wealth identity. Rather than generic statements, create specific affirmations tied to the habits you're developing. I am the kind of person who consistently invests in my future. Or I make financial decisions based on my goals, not my emotions. These statements rewire your self-concept, which ultimately governs your behavior. The daily exposure to wealth information is another zero-cost habit to implement immediately. Subscribe to financial newsletters, follow credible financial experts on social media, or listen to personal finance podcasts during your commute. Wealthy people constantly immerse themselves in information that shapes their financial thinking. Consistency trumps intensity. Small actions performed daily will transform your financial life more profoundly than grand gestures made occasionally. Start with just 2 or 3 of these habits, integrate them fully into your routine, then add more. The compound effect of these seemingly minor changes will reveal itself in ways you can hardly imagine. And it all begins with what you decide to do today. Lesson 7. Evening routines that grow your wealth. While most personal finance books focus on morning routines, the truth is that your evening habits often determine your financial trajectory just as powerfully. What you do in those precious hours before sleep shapes not only tomorrow's success, but your long-term wealth accumulation. The wealthiest people I've studied have deliberately engineered their evenings to maximize financial growth, even while they sleep. The evening financial review represents perhaps the most transformative habit in this chapter. Unlike the rushed morning check, IN's evening reviews allow for deeper reflection. Spend just 10-15 minutes examining the day's financial decisions. Did you miss any opportunities? Did you make purchases aligned with your values? This isn't about self-criticism, but rather honest assessment. One client of mine discovered through evening reviews that her impulse purchases happened primarily on stressful work days. This awareness alone helped her redirect over $4,000 annually into investments. Gratitude practices in the evening specifically focused on money create a powerful attractor field for wealth. Instead of generic gratitude, wealthy people express appreciation for specific financial wins, no matter how small. I'm grateful I found a new client today, or I'm thankful my investment increased by 2 reinforces the reality that money is already flowing to you. The psychological impact creates a positive feedback loop. The psychological impact creates a positive feedback loop that spotlights more opportunities during your waking hours. Planning tomorrow's wealth actions before sleep engages your subconscious mind to work on solutions overnight. This isn't abstract goal setting but concrete action planning. I will call 3 potential clients between 10-11 am, or I will research that investment opportunity for 30 minutes after lunch. When you plan with this level of specificity, your brain begins solving problems even while you rest. Many successful entrepreneurs report waking with fully formed business solutions after programming their minds this way before sleep. Problem? Solving sessions in the evening offer uninterrupted clarity often missing during busy days. Rather than bringing work stress to bed, dedicate 20 minutes to thoughtfully addressing one financial challenge or opportunity. The wealthy typically focus on high-leverage questions. How can I increase my passive income by $500 this month? Or what's the next logical step to scale my side business? This focused contemplation, when practiced consistently, generates breakthrough ideas that rarely emerge during scattered daytime thinking. Relationship strengthening also happens most effectively in evening hours. The truly wealthy understand that genuine connections drive financial opportunity more than almost any other factor. Simple practices like sending 3 appreciation messages to people in your network, scheduling 1 coffee meeting for later in the week, or making brief notes about a contact's recent achievements all compound into relationship capital that pays enormous dividends. Unlike desperate networking, these authentic evening connection rituals build a support system that naturally generates opportunities. Perhaps most counterintuitively, rest itself constitutes a wealth strategy. Sleep deprivation costs the average American thousands in lost productivity, poor decision-making, and health expenses annually. Creating evening rituals that enhance sleep quality, whether through digital sunsets, no screens 90 minutes before bed, light reading about financial concepts, or meditation, directly impacts your earning potential. The most successful people I've coached treat quality sleep as a non-negotiable investment rather than a luxury. The evening also offers prime territory for identity reinforcement. As you wind down, consciously affirm your evolving financial identity. I am becoming financially free, or I make decisions like a wealthy person. These statements, when integrated into evening reflection, reshape your self-concept at a neural level. Your brain literally reorganizes overnight to align with these identities, making wealth-building behaviors increasingly automatic. The beauty of evening wealth routines lies in their compounding effect. While a single night makes little difference, consistently practiced over months and years, these quiet habits create massive transformation. Unlike dramatic financial moves, these subtle evening practices operate beneath the radar, steadily building your wealth while others remain unaware of your advantage. Lesson 8. Weekday V's. Weekend Rich Habits. The wealthy understand something that most people miss. Different days require different approaches. Wealth doesn't take weekends off, but it does change its rhythm. The most financially successful people create distinct patterns for their weekdays versus their weekends, recognizing that both timeframes offer unique opportunities to build prosperity. During weekdays, the wealthy maintain rigid structures. They rise early, often before 6 a.m., creating a competitive advantage by accomplishing more before others even begin their day. This weekday discipline involves tight scheduling blocks, with specific times allocated for income-generating activities, problem-solving, and strategic planning. The wealthy protect their most productive hours fiercely, typically the morning, using this time for their highest value activities rather than emails or meetings. Communication during weekdays is purposeful and efficient. Wealthy people batch their calls and correspondence into designated time slots, preventing constant interruptions that derail productivity. They practice what I call wealth-focused batching, grouping similar tasks to maintain deep focus and energy conservation. This might mean handling all investment reviews on Tuesday afternoons or conducting all business development calls on Thursday mornings. What separates the wealthy is their weekday boundary maintenance. They say no frequently and without guilt, understanding that each yes to a low-value activity is a no to a high-value opportunity. They delegate aggressively, focusing only on what leverages their unique abilities. This weekday intensity creates tremendous momentum, but the truly wealthy understand it must be balanced with an equally strategic approach to weekends. Weekends for the wealthy aren't simply about escaping work. They're intentionally designed for rejuvenation, reflection, and relationship building. Saturday mornings often begin with a financial review ritual, examining the week's progress toward wealth goals and adjusting strategies accordingly. This might take just 30 minutes, but provides crucial course corrections before small issues become major setbacks. The wealthy dedicate weekend time to what I call prosperity thinking, the big picture visioning that gets squeezed out during hectic weekdays. This often happens during leisure activities like walking, hiking, or simply sitting quietly. Without the pressure of immediate action, the mind can identify patterns and opportunities invisible during the weekday rush. Many wealthy people report their most significant business insights emerge during these weekend contemplation periods. Weekends also provide prime opportunities for relationship cultivation. The wealthy use this time for deeper conversations with family, friends, and strategic connections. These aren't tactical networking events, but genuine relationship-building occasions that strengthen their social capital. A Saturday dinner with another successful couple might seem purely social, but the wealthy recognize these relationships often yield their greatest opportunities. Learning takes a different form on weekends. Instead of tactical skills acquisition that dominates weekdays, weekends allow for broader thinking through reading books, taking courses, or consuming content that expands perspectives. The wealthy dedicate weekend time to knowledge that might not have immediate application, but builds their intellectual foundation for future opportunities. Physical activity intensifies on weekends, with the wealthy recognizing the connection between physical vitality and financial performance. Whether it's longer workouts, outdoor adventures, or sports, weekend physical investments pay dividends throughout the week in energy, clarity, and stress resilience. Perhaps most importantly, Wealthy people practice intentional disconnection during portions of their weekends. They understand that constant digital connection creates reactive rather than proactive thinking. By scheduling periods without phones or devices, they create space for the subconscious processing that leads to breakthrough ideas. The rhythm between weekday intensity and weekend rejuvenation creates a sustainable approach to wealth building. The wealthy don't burn out from relentless activity, nor do they lose momentum from excessive downtime. Instead, they harness the unique benefits of both time frames, creating a wealth-building cadence that can be maintained for decades rather than months. By implementing this dual approach to your week, you create both the forward momentum and the strategic clarity required for long-term financial success. Lesson 9. Tracking your new money behaviors. Rich people track what matters. This simple truth separates those who wish to be wealthy from those who actually become wealthy. When I first began my journey to financial freedom, I treated my new money habits casually, implementing them inconsistently and never measuring their impact. Everything changed the day I began treating my personal finances with the same seriousness a CEO treats their company metrics. Tracking creates awareness, and awareness precedes change. Without clear measurement, your rich habits exist in a fog of uncertainty. Did you actually save more this month? Has your net worth truly increased? Are your daily actions aligned with your financial goals? These questions remain unanswered without proper tracking systems. Start by identifying your key performance indicators, the specific metrics that define financial progress for you. This might include your savings rate, investment contributions, passive income, or debt reduction. The wealthy understand that what gets measured gets managed. Choose 3 to 5 financial metrics that matter most to your situation and commit to tracking them religiously. The method of tracking matters less than the consistency of doing it. Some prefer sophisticated spreadsheets, others use specialized apps, while some maintain a simple notebook. The medium isn't important. Create a tracking ritual that feels sustainable for your lifestyle. This might be a daily 2-minute check-in, a weekly 30-minute review, or a combination of both. The key is establishing a rhythm that becomes as automatic as brushing your teeth. Tracking also reveals patterns invisible to casual observation. One client discovered through consistent tracking that she spent nearly 40s more on weekends than she estimated. Another realized his occasional food delivery habit was actually consuming over $700 monthly. These insights emerge only through faithful documentation. Rich habits become exponentially more powerful when reinforced by data-driven awareness. Beyond the numbers, track your behavior patterns and emotional responses to money. Note when you feel compelled to make impulsive purchases or when you successfully delay gratification. Document how different environments affect your spending habits. This emotional tracking complements your financial metrics, providing insight into the psychological drivers behind your money behaviors. Rich people also track their progress against benchmarks and goals. Establish clear financial targets for each month, quarter, and year. Review your progress regularly, celebrating wins and analyzing shortfalls. This creates a feedback loop that continuously refines your wealth-building system. Without these benchmarks, you risk drifting through your financial life without direction. Leverage technology to automate parts of your tracking system. Many apps can categorize expenses, monitor investment performance, and calculate net worth with minimal manual input. This automation frees mental bandwidth for strategic thinking while ensuring you maintain comprehensive records. However, avoid the temptation to completely outsource your financial awareness. Personally engaging with your numbers creates an irreplaceable connection to your money. Share your tracking with an accountability partner or financial mentor. The act of verbalizing your progress reinforces commitment and introduces valuable outside perspective. Many wealthy people participate in mastermind groups specifically to share financial goals and tracking insights. This social dimension transforms tracking from a solitary task into a communal reinforcement of rich habits. As your tracking habit matures, you'll begin noticing correlations between specific daily behaviors and financial outcomes. Perhaps morning meditation improves your decision, making quality or reading before bed leads to better investment choices. These insights allow you to double down on high-impact activities while eliminating those that drain resources without providing value. Tracking itself is a rich habit, perhaps the most powerful of all. It brings conscious awareness to what would otherwise remain unconscious, transforming vague intentions into concrete actions. When you commit to meticulous tracking, you signal to yourself that your financial future deserves serious attention. This mindset shift alone can dramatically accelerate your journey to wealth. The wealthy understand that what you measure grows. Begin tracking your new money behaviors today and watch as this simple practice illuminates the path to financial abundance. Your wealth journey becomes inevitable when conscious tracking meets consistent action. Lesson 10. Turning rich habits into automatic success. The most challenging part of any transformation isn't learning what to do. It's making those positive actions stick until they become effortless parts of your daily existence. The journey from conscious wealth habits to automatic financial success represents the ultimate achievement in your prosperity evolution. It's when saving, investing, and making money positive decisions becomes as natural as breathing. The key to automaticity lies in understanding the neurological process of habit formation. Your brain creates neural pathways that strengthen with repetition. Initially, your wealth habits require tremendous focus and willpower. You must consciously check your accounts, resist impulse purchases, or wake up early to plan your day. Yet with consistent practice, typically between 60 to 90 days, these actions begin requiring less mental energy. This is your brain optimizing its resources by moving these behaviors from the prefrontal cortex, conscious thought, to the basal ganglia, automatic processing. The wealthy understand this process intuitively. They don't rely on motivation or discipline in perpetuity. They create systems that make wealth building automatic. Consider Warren Buffett, who doesn't wake up each morning and decide whether to analyze investment opportunities. It's simply what he does, as automatic as his breakfast routine. Or consider how Richard Branson automatically looks for business opportunities in everyday frustrations, without consciously switching into entrepreneur mode. To accelerate this automaticity, create environmental triggers that prompt your wealth habits. If you want to review your finances daily, place your financial notebook next to your coffee maker. If you aim to listen to financial podcasts during your commute, keep your phone charged and your podcast app open on your dashboard. Your environment shapes your behavior more powerfully than willpower ever could. Social embedding represents another powerful way to cement your wealth habits. When you join mastermind groups, investment clubs, or entrepreneurial communities, your wealth habits become part of your identity. Within these circles, you become the person who always invests 20% of their income, or the one who reads financial books every morning. These social identities create powerful incentives to maintain your habits, even when motivation wanes. Digital automation stands as perhaps the most effective way wealthy people ensure consistency. They don't mentally decide to save or invest each month. They program their financial systems to execute automatically. Your investment contributions should occur the day after your paycheck arrives, before you can mentally access those funds for other purposes. Automated bill payments, savings transfers, and even automated rebalancing of investment portfolios remove the friction that prevents consistency. The true mark of successful habit automaticity comes when breaking the habit feels more uncomfortable than maintaining it. Wealthy people reach a point where skipping their morning planning session feels wrong, leaving the house without brushing their teeth. Missing their monthly investment contribution creates genuine discomfort. This discomfort signals that the habit has become integrated into your identity. Critically, automaticity doesn't mean unconsciousness. The wealthy maintain awareness of their financial systems while removing the need for constant decision-making. They periodically audit their automatic behaviors to ensure alignment with evolving goals. Think of it as setting your financial GPS. You program the destination, automate the navigation, but occasionally check that you're still on the optimal route. As your wealth habits become automatic, you'll experience what psychologists call cognitive unburdening, the mental freedom that comes when behaviors no longer require conscious effort. This freed mental bandwidth allows you to focus on higher-level wealth strategies rather than basic financial maintenance. While others exhaust themselves deciding whether to save, you'll be researching your next investment opportunity or business venture. Automaticity builds upon itself. Each habit that becomes automatic creates capacity for adopting new wealth behaviors. This compounds not just your money, but your behavioral capabilities. The wealthy person you'll become 5 years from now will effortlessly maintain habits that currently seem challenging, while simultaneously adopting new behaviors that would overwhelm you today. This is the true miracle of compound habits. They expand your capacity for success while simultaneously delivering financial results. Your wealth journey ultimately transforms from conscious striving into automatic living, where prosperity-generating behaviors become simply who you are, not just what you do.